Welcome in to episode 10 of our Let's Play Humankind YouTube series. Very excited to be bringing this episode to you today. Episode 10 is kind of a milestone episode. We'll see where we can get today. We're in the classical era playing as the Celts. Very excited to be exploring the New World. We're on the New World. We're exploring it. We've got it about halfway explored, so we'll jump in. We'll get that. We've got big plans for this episode. We've got expansion galore. We have New World cities to settle. We have assimilated free peoples to take care of. We've got a bunch of things to do. If you want to catch up on the whole series, there's a link to episode 1 down in the description, so you can catch up on the whole 10-episode series so far of this Let's Play Humankind series. It's kind of in the over-explained style, so I'm kind of going through all of my strategies and things like that. If you like the content, please feel free to hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you know when new videos go live, primarily Sunday afternoons here for the Let's Play Humankind series. Let's jump right into the game, pick up where we left off here in the classical era. Okay, here is the capital, up to a sturdy 17 people. Once again, just as a reminder, we did pick the Celts because they have the Nemeton. Nemetons are fantastic for food production, obviously, so that's going to go well for us now and in the future, right? And we actually have this beautiful two Nemetons right next to each other here, which we can then surround with more farmers' quarters. That's going to be a breadbasket for the capital. It's going to be a really potent spot to be able to gain a lot of food. And so we're kind of cruising in the capital now, and we are ready to be exploring the New World. Remember, our primary plan right now is we need to get this city in, okay? So first things first, one more turn, then this outpost will be in. Once the outpost is in, we purchase the harbor if we can. It doesn't look like they have any coast here in the ocean area, but they do have a lake, 2 lakes actually, within this territory. So we'll be able to put a harbor in. Probably it's going to go, well, actually that's cliff. But this might not be. I'm not sure if that counts as being in territory. We might have to put the harbor in over here. We'll have to see. We'll put a harbor in here, claim any stuff they have, which is actually, it doesn't look like well, the territory goes all the way over here. I guess we should explore over here really quick just to see if there's any resources we can put in. We'll try to do that really quick because we want to buy those in with influence. Look at this. Look at the shape of this territory. Let's zoom out. Look at this. How strange. So technically, actually, our harbor might go up here somewhere. That actually might be the spot up there. We'll have to see. It's going to be interesting. What a strangely shaped territory. The New World is very oddly shaped in this particular game. We have this territory here as well that has this little jut that comes through this pass right here and then like opens up really here to this cool kind of mountain range looking thing. Very interesting land. I'm glad that we're kind of the first people on it. We're the first people exploring. We're going to try to throw down as many outposts as we can, claim up as much of the New World as we can. Oh, and we have now been joined. We have now been joined by Green, by Plosif. Plosif is now in the New World. All right, so that presents us our first challenge. Plosif coming on over into the New World just south of our capital. We may want to make some aggressive claims here, but the problem is we need to spend our influence on turning this into a city, and then we need to spend our influence on assimilating this city. Now, we want to do it specifically in that order, remember, because once we form our third city, the cost of forming a city out of an outpost goes up by like double, essentially. And so, but the cost of assimilating, I do not believe changes. So we want to assimilate second, because we don't want to have the cost of this city go up. If we could assimilate right now, we could do it. We could assimilate right now and get our third city, but then the cost of making this into a city is going to go up by a substantial amount. And so we want to do our city first, then we'll assimilate. And we actually have a civic that we may want to take advantage of as well. So over here under independent peoples, you will see that we can choose between minus 50% higher army cost, or we can choose minus 50 on assimilation cost. Now, this does move us kind of a little further away from the geopolitical world, which is the axis we want to trend towards, because that gets us the extra food, which we'll try to move back in that direction at some point. But for just 94 influence, we can get minus 50% assimilation cost. Assimilation cost currently in Lulaban, which is the one that we are going to assimilate, is 500. So that's 250 influence reduction for 94 cost on influence to enact that civic. And then we have that minus 50 anytime we want to make any assimilations in the future, which we may want to do potentially. And so that's something we're thinking about, right? Because one of the strategies we have been talking about is, well, we're about to be able to assimilate Sus as well. We could assimilate Sus, train armies until they have no more population, go and put those armies into our own cities, and then just burn the city down. I've never tried that strat before, but it is something that I'm interested in potentially testing to see if that works. The other thing we need influence for, we have not claimed any wonders yet. There are some nice wonders to be claimed, and it costs 250. So we're going to see how much we have left over. I'd like to get a wonder claim out there because wonders obviously are worth fame, and fame is what's going to win you the game in the end. So being able to claim wonders as you go is definitely important. So we'll see how much fame we have left over. We're currently gaining 100 fame per turn. We could be gaining more. I've talked about this before in this series, but we're not putting in cities as fast of a rate as I would normally want to. And partially that's because we got kind of crunched in our area by the fact that there was all these free peoples. Now, if there was just one free peoples, we could have assimilated already. We would have been done. We would have gotten them, and we would have had our third city already. We kind of ran into a spacing issue because of these free peoples, and now we want our city to be in the new world. So that is the plan for where we are at right now. Let's end turn, and we will progress through and see what we can get done today. All right, there's now, I think we're getting pushed religiously a little bit. Tana Borealis' population has fallen. Let's check out where that is. Okay, so that is not particularly surprising to me. So our territories that are on the outskirts, but that we claimed a little while ago, because we put the harbors in and we claimed all of the stuff, they're actually growing at a pretty substantial rate. So now they're going over their pop cap, and then they're actually dropping in pop because they're not connected to a city. So we really need to get Lulaban online so we can connect some of these more large, like this one's 4 of 4, this one's 3 of 4, right? So our populations and some of these older claims we made are starting to get to the point where they're going to start losing population, as Tanya Borealis just did. And so we're going to want to get those connected as soon as possible so that we're not wasting per se, but we're not optimizing our use of those. So first things first, before we jump in and do what we're going to do here, let's come here and let's get our harbor in. And it looks like we have options. That is a 3 food spot. And then these are 2 food, and we can't put it in here, yes, because of the cliff. So we're not going to throw in there. So I think we'll just go ahead and plop in at this 3 food spot, because that's going to be our best option for our harbor. Also gets us kind of a nice exit point if we need to do boats out of this particular place. So yes, it's going to cost us influence, but 34 influence compared to the production it's going to cost to put this harbor in later, well worth it. So we'll put that in first, and then we are prepared to move this to a city. Only cost 510, so that's not bad at all. We're still going to need to enact that other civic in order to get our assimilation done on the same turn, but I think we could go ahead and just execute on this now. It's not a bad place. It only has 5 food. So we're going to want to try to crank food here very quickly and then find a connection. Its first connection we're going to want to be kind of a high food connection. So we've got some river here, and it looks like here. So I think there's some really nice land that we can connect into potentially right beside it. And so we might just start kind of cutting inward with this and grab something that's high food, because we're going to want access to food for this particular city relatively quickly. So let's go ahead and evolve it into a city. Boom, there we go. Nemosos is our city, and we can go ahead and start working on our first build here. Now, we could start with the Nemeton. We only have 3 stars currently in the classical aircraft, so we're not really thinking about moving up for a little bit here, so we're probably fine. What we could potentially do is we could use our agrarian ability up here in the top corner. It costs 220 influence, so what we're going to do is not do that now. We want to think about this, right? And so we want to be looking at this. We can actually look at it for all of our cities really quickly just to see. We would steal 2 population from San Lorenzo and 2 from Huatu. So we would actually get 2 pop from San Lorenzo and put it in our capital. That is what this agrarian ability does, right? So we'd also steal 2 from this city. Let's find out what if this city did it. They would steal 1 from Corral, 1 from Akkad, 1 from Sus, 1 from Lulaban, 2 from San Lorenzo, and 1 from Palataputra. That, they would gain 8 population. I mean, that puts us way over the pop cap, but that is, I feel like you have to do that. Like, we have to do this. 8 population is a monstrous amount. That's like that's like a 50% increase in our city. Okay, so let's keep an eye on that. As soon as we have so much to spend influence on. You can quickly see how at the beginning of the game, and this is why I keep harping on it, at the beginning of the game, when you're in turns 1 through 100, 125-ish, man, influence is so important. And it's really interesting because the importance of influence drops off hard after that point in the game. As soon as you get like past the like midpoint in your game, or even into that kind of mid-game area, you'll see during this Let's Play as the series continues, influence, you'll be like, oh, we gotta get more influence, we gotta get more influence, we gotta get more influence. And then all of a sudden you'll be like, wow, I have nothing to do with this influence. We've done all of our attachments, we've done all of our things, we've formed all of our cities, and now I'm generating a ton of influence because I focused on it so hard, and now there's nothing to do with it, right? Because that's how the game kind of balances out, is the influence drops off in importance. There's still things you could do with it, enact civics, claim wonders, and different things, but the importance drops off heavily. As you can see, like, all of the cool things we're looking at trying to do are kind of hinging on, well, we kind of need to have influence to do it, and so we're having to prioritize pretty heavily on what we're actually going to do. That is a large desert. That is a very big desert. Ob discovered. I've discovered the breathtaking Ob River. Perfect. Love it. I love that part of the game. It's pretty fun. Okay, so what were these guys doing up here? I think they were grabbing these guys must have been grabbing a curiosity. So we want to send them down this river because I think we want to make a claim. This territory looks incredibly valuable from a food standpoint. These guys are coming around the top side, so these guys can kind of cut through here a little bit. So let's just have them enter the desert. Best of luck in the desert, Mr. Scout. I apologize for having to send you there. I feel like we could go up here. It would give us maybe the best vantage point into this particular area. So let's do that. Oh, there's one right there. Oh, well, there's one right here, too. We should probably mark this, because we want to get back to it. Can I put a tack there? What's the tack button? Who do you want to, just the owner of the tile? I just want, just me. I just want to put a, oh. They're all computer players, so I don't care. Is there one that I could do just me? Oh, I have to delete. You can only do one at a time? Man, they could fix their marking system. We need some tax. This is a very, this spot right here we gotta claim this. This, oh my gosh, look at this. Look at the rivers on this particular, oh wow. Yeah, we need to claim this up. I don't know how much that's gonna cost us, but I think it'll be okay. Woo, that's looking beautiful. All right, Nemosos for the first build. We got distracted by our agrarian ability, right? I like to probably go Pottery Workshop. We're going to get that +4 influence, start to generate a little bit more. It's a quick build to get things kicked off. And then obviously we're going to start looking at, well, what's going to get us the most food? Because we want growth as king, and so we want growth to start with. 25 food for animal barns. No food for granary currently because we don't have any farmers working. And again, flood irrigation is only +6, only +3 here. This, as you can see, is why I really emphasize the importance of animal barns early in game. 25 food, because we have access to 5 horses currently. So 25 food is huge. So that's going to be our second build. So we're probably going to walk into animal barns after we walk our pottery workshop, just to increase that influence generation by a bit. We need that influence, right? That's something we're really gearing up towards right now. Let's stay coast with these guys. They're heading out, doing some exploration. One of the benefits we have currently is there are no free peoples yet on the New World, but that's not going to stay forever. And so we want to make sure we get some decent claims in. Let's see if Plosif has claimed. Nope, but he is moving out rapidly. Rapidly, Plosif is coming down here and going to make it kind of a pain. It'd be really nice if we could sling a unit down here and see if we can't just gobble up these couple of territories just for the sake of expansion. We might have to swing. One of these guys is going to swing back this way and try to make those claims. I don't think we'll get them in. I think that's probably not going to be something that's in our future, but that's okay. Okay, this guy is just hanging out. So let's just have him hang. And then let's look at Lulaban, because this is where we do not have 500. However, if we go to our civic, if we enact our free peoples -50 on assimilate cost,
they may have more to offer than just their weapons. Assimilation does seem practical.
We now only have to pay 250, and now we can do this all in the same turn. So I like just let's jump into it. Are we going to go over our city cap? Yes, we are going to go over our city cap. That's fine. We're fine with that. And in fact, there's probably another civic that we haven't enacted yet. Yeah. If we want to, we can spend 161 when we get there to up our city cap, which probably will be a good idea for us in the near future. We're not going to spend it right now because that wouldn't allow us to go over the cap right now. Going one over your city cap is almost never a problem. Almost never a problem. However, if you can be at city cap, why not do it, in my opinion? But you could always go one over. Honestly, you could usually afford to go two over your city cap. If you start going over three over your city cap, the penalties get pretty substantial, and so that's going to get kind of painful for you from an influence standpoint. Later in the game, that's not really a problem again, because influence is not so important. However, in the beginning of the game, and in the early phases like we are now in the classical era, you don't really want to be too far over your city cap because it's going to cost you influence. That is what the penalty is. It's a penalty to influence generation. And so we don't want to have that penalty enacted on us as much as possible. But let us do our assimilation. Boom, there we go.
An independent
there is our fourth city. So in one turn, we swing from 2 cities to 4.
But great things can come from small beginnings.
Big play. Big play. That is going to skyrocket us in the right direction. All right, again, we could one turn a Potter Rook up here. The nice thing about Lulaban is they've got 4 population already. And so actually, you know what the best part about this is? I bet if we use our agrarian ability... Yeah, okay, they'll gain 5. But will they still gain... 8 pop. I mean, we just have to do this in this city. 8 population is just an enormous number. And then we can always just produce an army out of this place to help with our defeat of the rest of the free peoples and then just depopulate them into Lulaban or into someplace else. So we won't use it here, although it makes a lot of sense to just gain the 5 pop here because they're not near the pop cap. We're still going to take the 8 because that's just a huge number. And then we'll just train some armies out of it. But for Lulaban for now, we're going to jump into the Pottery Workshop. Again, we want to enhance that influence generation. We'll probably walk right into Animal Barns to be able to increase that. And we are going to go ahead and max out our food and then put one into production. That is my standard operating procedure for early cities. Is I'm going to max food. I always want 1 in industry. Once I get to 2 people in a city, I'm going to put 1 in industry. But I like to keep 1 in industry, max out your food, and now everyone else will kind of stack into industry. So we're actually going to set them to expert policy because that's what we've got everything set for here. In our cities, that just says the computer will now set it to work food slots first if they're available, then industry if they're available, then gold, then science. And we flip the gold and science around. I usually flip-flop those depending on kind of what the goal is at the time. Right now, we're not using gold for a ton of stuff, and so the science probably would be the better thing to be going for. So maybe we even flip that. This city's not gonna make a difference for a while, but that's something that we can think about as well. Now I have to test whether we just. I think we're gonna save up for the assimilate on sus. I still think we're gonna try that and then depopulate it into our other cities. I think maybe for a COD, man, we're almost there on assimilating a COD too. I'm not sure if we want to fight them or not. What did we get from Lulaban? What army did we get from them? Just these guys, right? I mean, that's not terrible, and we can have them join up with our other guy. We can go fight some free peoples just to try to get some military stars, which is always a good idea if you have the opportunity to do so. So we'll probably make an attempt at that. A COD only has 3 people, so we may even just attack a COD. Maybe just try to get rid of all these armies and stuff like that. So, well, let's think about that. We've got 1 turn on the Nemeton here. Once that Nemeton is in, we may train a few army units out of Huatu and then add to our army and run a legitimate attack there. I think that's probably what our play will be. So just as we're thinking about it, I think maybe we assimilate sus with their 5, maybe even 6 people by the time we get there. We try to depopulate them by training a military out of there as well. Depopulate them into our other cities. And then we actually run an attack on a COD to try to collect military stars, which would get us right here, our military stars, which again, we've got 2 of 10. 10 to get 1, it's a lot, but there's 10 units here to fight, plus the population there, so we get a star out of it. Is 1 star worth it? I don't know. I guess we'll see.
5 farmers' quarters for 1 city. Somebody is going down in history with the title of the Satiated.
Yes, we like our food. That is true, Mr. Narrator. All right. We've got trade route destroyed. I don't like that. Why? Is there a war going on over here? There might be. There very may be a war between Plosive and 100 Games, 100 Days going on. Let's check our statuses of our trade really quick. Not where is Nox? Where is Nox on this map? Oh yeah, way over here. That's right. We have money for trades. Let's propose to trade everything.
This proposition should be in all our best interests.
We probably should have attempted an alliance, but we'll hold on that.
You have my interest.
And then let's execute some trade if we can. 96 money is perfect. Copper, I don't think we're using copper right now, so I'll hold on that. I don't want to purchase anything with this symbol on it. We've talked about that before. Pearls are +1 money per trader. We've got traders. That's a big dollar amount, but that's going to net us probably a lot of gold. So we're going to pay the big amount. Silk is per maker's quarter. We don't want that necessarily. Sage is really nice, but that's probably expensive, and that's not even their resource. Okay, we've already purchased that. We've purchased that. Purchased that. Okay, so we got most stuff. Okay, marble is industry per worker. That's not bad. How expensive is it, though? It's pretty expensive, but let's do it. And then we don't have enough money probably to buy much else. And let's check on some of our other relationships, though.
If you seek the greater good,
all right, here is
then
Icarus.
I would know you better.
Now, the Icarus and the Akhmed Persians are on our land, so we are sharing our area with them. But we're in a full alliance with them. We should probably finish purchasing. See, those aren't as valuable to us because we don't have very many research quarters or makers quarters, so we're going to skip those again. Let's check on our treaties with the Huns. Burly Gamer, let's propose to trade everything.
We would all benefit from growing closer.
Probably again, we could have proposed an alliance there, but
fair as a summer's day. We accept.
Buy some stuff. We don't need that, and gemstones are per market as well, so we don't need those right now.
Perhaps
we are in an alliance with 100 Games, 100 Days, so that's nice. I wonder if they would take a cultural agreement, because that would be a great way to increase. If cultural agreements, right, 5% influence on empire, which is a really big deal, so perfect.
All benefit
that's
from
excellent.
Closer.
And now we're full trading already, so that's pretty nice.
How do you do?
And then
Whoever
we're over to Plosif, and we are allied. We have full treaties, which is really nice. And I think we already determined that we bought everything that we potentially wanted, right? And we have very low money, so we'll hold unless we can buy another horse. Oh, we can buy another horse. Oh, never mind. We'll take the horse. That's increasing our food by a substantial amount. Okay, so we have a bunch more trade that we can do, but we just run ourselves out of money, but we've increased all of our trade routes, which is fantastic, and we're probably making quite a bit more money now. 233 per, so that is pretty nice. And you'll notice that our influence per turn has also gone up a substantial amount from getting our next 2 cities in, and that's only going to continue to increase. These guys are waiting to claim this territory. I'm a little concerned that we have 100 Games, 100 Days people here. I think we may have to, and there comes the claim. There it is, the claim on the New World from Plosif. So now our best laid plans to claim up the whole New World kind of cut off at the feet, and we set ourselves up for that. We decided we wanted to take the Wonder for whatever reason. We could have come down here and started claiming in this direction, so we're gonna have to share the New World for a little bit until we either decide that war is necessary for expansion, or some other opportunity presents itself to be able to kind of take those over, which is almost always going to be through war at this point. But we'll try to kind of cut things off over here. We might have to give up this territory and this one as well, but we'll kind of try to claim up as much of this side as we can. Kind of stinks that we couldn't get the claim right next to our capital, but that is okay. We will work with that. I kind of want to put my outpost in right here just to get this claimed. I'm a little concerned that they might plop a random outpost in. Now, could we just burn it down? Yes, like we could just burn it down, but that's going to cause war tensions and potentially break trade routes and other things that we probably do not want to be broken. So I feel like we should probably just spend the 175, which is a substantial amount. But the 1018 is big, and we can attach this relatively quickly as well. And so let's just go ahead and let's put it down. We're staying there for a reason. Let's claim the territory. We'll come down. We'll claim this one as well because we just want to make sure, right, that we have our own land before we jump in and start claiming everything here. But we do want to get this city up and running as much as possible. Oh, we do have an event. A distant metropolis. Founding cities across your own continent is a challenging endeavor, but still much simpler than founding them on foreign shores. Seasons, climate, wildlife, staple foods, everything is alien. Not least a population drawn largely from local stock. Now that you find yourself in such a position, with the empire fragmented across different land masses, you must decide your outlook on such new cities. All right, let's show details. Colonization, we obviously only have 8 influence right now, so we can't do this, but applies status subservient on captured cities. That could be potentially nice. Applies status harmonious on captured cities. Now, we are not at war, so although if we are at war, these things could come in handy. I'm not going to do anything with this right now, and we probably won't do anything with that for a long while unless we end up on kind of a war path of some sort to be able to handle that. We also want to put the claim in here, but we don't obviously have the ability to do that right now. We need 193 to be able to do that. So let's just, we'll stay on river maybe and just pop out to here-ish. Let's just see what there is to see. I know we have something to claim back over there. We want to do that, but oh my gosh. I think the spot they're standing on is the spot. I look at this spot right here, though. We get smack dab in the middle of all of these rivers. So what I like about this spot is it gives us an exit point where we're working all the river tiles, and then we can exit and build districts up along this river here. And then like potentially cross over, start building along this river. I don't know. This is such a lush territory. I think this is probably the spot, though. We'll see next turn or 2 turns from now when we're able to try to claim that. All right, so these guys are going to come down. We'll kind of scoot our way in. There is a river here that we probably want to get on this turn if we can with our last move. There it is. And there's some nice, even the snow down here has actually got some nice river in it, which is always nice if you see snow with river. That's handy. Can we climb along the river? I guess we should go break all this fog over here before we come down further. So we'll do that with that unit. All right, here's our army. And now we actually, do we have enough money to do this? We can upgrade to Swordsman, but we're about to be able to upgrade straight through. Our Gaisate must be a different than Swordsman. What are these guys? Huh. I don't know what their upgrade is. They're not a replacement for Swordsman. They are just as good as Swordsman? Those aren't scouts, though, are they? I have no idea what that... I have no idea what upgrades into those. That's kind of fascinating to me that these guys upgrade to Swordsman. So we can upgrade these guys probably now. We don't need to spend money on much else. So probably should start upgrading these guys. Maybe we'll just save money and do them both on the same turn. Because I think we've got some options to start fighting some of these free peoples potentially as we are working our way through. All right, all of our cities need to start building things. Let's just tell this army to hold still. Carol is over pop cap, so that's never great, but we're full working things. We still have some excess food, which is nice. We've got all of our nematons in our currently attached territories. We could put in an iron mine, which does get us +3 science. We're not using iron for anything else currently, so I'm not super sold on that, and we should probably be putting in a district. Here's the problem. We're reaching pop cap, but we also have a lot of really good infrastructures that we have not built yet. And so that becomes the conundrum of, okay, we've got a lot of infrastructure that needs to be built, but we also need population cap. And the only thing that increases population cap, for the most part, is your districts. And so there are districts that will increase your pop cap. I don't think that we have any right now, although, oh man, we can put in libraries already. +1 science per pop is a big thing to have. It's a nice science boost. Obviously, it tells you it's going to be +18 in this particular city. That's a nice boost. House of Scribes, obviously, look at that, does get us 2 research slots. So again, some infrastructures will increase your population cap, like this one, the House of Scribes, +2 research slots. So you want to look for those because those can be good to build as well. I really like the idea of potentially putting in our theaters as well because we're looking for more influence, but we kind of need to put in more of our districts because we need to keep that pop cap up. we want to stay at least around the pop cap, because what happens is when you go over pop cap, you have population that's not actually working anything, so it's not as effective, and they're eating food that is not being turned into other FIMs. And so you kind of want to stay away from that. They also start to cost, I believe, like more and more food, like per population, the further you go over your cap. So it really is best to kind of put other things in. So we might want to throw in like a research quarter or something that might be handy. I don't think we can put one up here yet. Optimally, you'd want to put them around your iron mine. So anytime you're putting in research quarters, you want to try to save spots around your strategic resources. Market quarters, you want to save around your luxuries and around your harbors. I'm kind of tempted to put in our iron mine, but that doesn't help us with the problem that I'm seeing. So maybe we will go down here, and maybe we do House of Scribes, get those research slots, because that's two, without a hit to our stability, which we're not having problems with stability, but that gets us an increase by 2 population cap for a 2-turn build pretty quick. It's a pretty nice build, and we don't have food problems there right now, so I think that's probably a good play. All right, we have more nematons to put in, but we were thinking about creating an army from this because we were going to save up to put... Oh, man, we have so much thing that... I'm claiming territories, but I need to spend my influence on our agrarian ability. This is such a monstrous population gain, so I think we should start training an army out of this place. I think we probably start training some of our unique unit, our Gaisatai. I don't know how to pronounce that word, to be quite honest. Gaisatai? We'll go with whatever. I think we should probably train some of them because we want, if we want to go to war, we want to have like some serious armies to be able to do it with. We just want to kind of crush somebody, and we got population problems here, so let's train at least a small army of these. We'll take like 2 or 3 turns to train like someone. We'll drop the pop a little bit, and we'll see about kind of formulating a little war party, because I think that's probably one of our best plays right now. All right, now Lulaban, we could run an attach for 30 on our next turn, and we probably want to do that. That first attach is something you want to do relatively early. Do we want to put the Nematon in now? I'm not sure how important that is currently, because we're not moving up soon, so we don't have to think about that yet. We're in a really good spot for food. Now, we could put the animal barns in and grow even faster, which I'm not opposed to. And in fact, that might be the play, unless we want to go straight to the theater. But that's an 8-turn build for 4 influence. Just don't think it's worth it at this point. So let's just go straight to animal barns. Let's get the growth factor up really high in Lulaban as well. I think that's probably the way to go as we're kind of trucking along through here. We still have this spot to claim, and again, there are units kind of mingling in our land, and so that's a little bit concerning. And we do want to get claims in here as fast as possible. We're going to have to meter out our influence in a very strategic way here. It's getting very tricky to make those decisions. There's an agrarian star. That's not surprising because we're focusing on growth pretty heavily right now. At 4 population gained in that last turn, which is pretty big. Let's see if any claims have come in. Nope, but they are moving around in the territory.
A proposal?
Burly Gamer has proposed open borders. I will accept that because, well, we could counter that maybe. I'm gonna counter.
I cannot accept this as is, but a modest contribution.
I don't need open borders with the Burly Gamer right now, so we might as well see if he was willing to give us money. He was not, which is fine. All right.
We would all
might even save up our money and buy out a couple of units. Shared logistics with the Marians. Yeah, that's probably fine.
Yes, I cannot dispute the benefit in that.
I can't, apparently. All right, these guys have put in their outpost. That's wonderful. Let's get them situated. What are we going to do? I guess we're coming, like, onto this river. Like, this is a river claim here, right? But I think we have to put... I guess we're going to pick this up first. I guess we have to put... We're going to put a maker's quarter here at some point, right? Because we have to take advantage of this. Like, that's ridiculous. To claim this little nook. So, but I still think probably our outpost goes right there. It's going to be my current line of thinking. All right, let's go explore the rest of this. We'll come back through here if we can. Nice. That's the perfect curiosity to get. Like it. These guys have now explored this whole area. And they can actually continue downriver. How do we want to get them over here? Let's go around this way. Let's do this way. We'll get to see a little bit more down here. All of this land looks very lovely. There's a nice piece here. This territory has 1, 2, 3, and then an additional 2 strategic, so that's a nice piece of land. The land itself is terrible. There's no food here whatsoever. It's just desolate. It's just production only. There's actually almost no food. It's actually kind of wild, this territory. We probably actually put our city over here on this little... We put our outpost over here on this little nub, and then we work in here with just on the resources, probably, because that's pretty barren land. Okay, we're going to hold... I really want to put this in to get food for this. I think that's our next claim, probably. So I think these guys are just going to sit here, because I think that's probably the spot we want to claim. This army is... Again, we probably should start to upgrade these guys. Let's go ahead and do that. We'll spend our money on upgrades this time. We have one... Oh, we got to move this army, actually. We have to move them, otherwise this unit can't complete. Because they... Here is a tip. If you're training an army, here is a big tip. If your army is full, right? This is a full army. We only have 4 army spots right now. If your army is full and you're training a military unit in that city, it will not train. You will literally just burn production in that city. So you have to move your full army out of the city so that a new army can form. It does not form that army outside of the city or anything like that. It will literally just burn your production. So big tip, if you're building armies, move your full army out of the city. Otherwise you will just sit there building absolutely nothing. We're going to probably attack this, and I think we'd come at it from here. So I think we move our army up this way. I think that's probably the plan. We'll come like up here. Oh, I just moved a single unit. That's classic. That's fine. We'll just combine them back, grab the whole army, move them all together, and then we'll be training kind of a secondary army here, which is hopefully going to be nice. Okay. Nemesis, our city on the New World, is prepared to build something else. I believe they put in their pottery barns. There it is, the pottery workshop. Let's get our animal barns in. It's plus 40 food. It's too good. It's too good. It's too much food to pass up. We got to do it. All right, the Descendant of Kings. A filthy, wretched man has come to your empire claiming to be a descendant of one of the ancient rulers of Luluben. Without fear, in front of your whole court, he boldly tells you that his people are owed a great restitution for the grave offenses you carried out against his ancestors. However, he is willing to forego this redress on the condition that you fulfill a divine prophecy and let him lead Luluben. He promises that fulfilling the prophecy will see riches come to the city. Deny him, and he promises to bring war or famine to your empire. What is your choice? This is where the game is so fascinating, right? We just took over Luluben, we brought it in, we assimilated it into in a peaceful way, right? We assimilated it, but there's still ramifications to that. Okay, so we can redress, get swift on units, which is, we're exploring a little bit, so that might be nice. We can accede. The talk of prophecy will hamper rational thought, but his commerce will flourish. And so we can take the money, but detract from our science. It does move us back towards the geopolitical world axis, which is kind of where we want to be. Or we can belittle him, which is probably a bad idea. Also moves us towards world, gives us plus stability, but a chance of unexpected consequences. Now, when you're looking at something like this and you see that there's a chance of unexpected consequences, most of the time, it's probably something that's going to be negative. We're belittling somebody from a city we just took over. I'm not sure that's the best plan. I think I'll take the science hit for some extra money right now. We're using money for a few things. It moves us on the right direction on this particular thing. Swift is tempting at this point. It does move us back towards the wrong political. Let's accede. We'll let him do. We'll let him lead the city. You know, it's fine. Do your thing. All right. Let us continue to progress. All right, we got a research done. A new wonder can be claimed. We now have enough to actually claim a wonder, but we have too much to do. I think I can claim a wonder right now. We just lost 2 population, probably in both. Yeah, Tania Borealis and Alia, which is also up here. So we're starting to lose population in our outposts because they've sat for too long without being attached. So we really do need to start running some attachments. We can actually run Luluban's first attachment right now. It only costs 27. So this place will stop bleeding population. And then after that, we'll be able to attach Tania Borealis as much as when we get there. We have a lot to spend on, but this is a cheap attachment, and it's going to boost our the city of Lulaban by a substantial amount, right? All of a sudden, we get 4 extra pop because that's what was there, and so now growth has increased by a substantial amount. We got a lot more production in Lulaban because of that. So I like making that move. It's just kind of a bummer, right? But that we have to spend our influence on it, but that's kind of what you get. All right. Question is, are we ready for our battle with Akkad? Akkad has archers, they've got spearmen, I believe these are their units as well. Yes, they have a chariot and some warriors, so we have a pretty good advantage over them. I want to say we should probably just produce a few more of our Gaisate. What is the difference between these guys? No combat strength penalty from damage, so that's the difference, but like it's 26-4-1. 26-6-1. Okay, so they have better range. Wait, hold on. Yeah, so the scout, they're not an upgrade from a scout. They must be just their own unit class. Are they an upgrade from something else? Like, what else in the tech tree with those guys? Anyway, comment if you want in the comments. What does the Celts special unit, the Gaisate, what does that upgrade from? Or does it start its own upgrade tree? Like, is it just a swordsman that has a better unit? It doesn't feel as potent as it might otherwise. It's an interesting. Oh wait! Wow, there's 2. What are they? And we get a warrior unit out of it. Okay, let's send the warrior unit up to the city. Get him headed back. That's great. We'll add to our little army that we're creating. This swordsman needs to hopefully explore up here. I hate having to cut through this, but it's the only way to do it. See if we see any other curiosities. We could have him stop by over here before he does that. It's not the worst plan in the world. Come over here. Well, that guy will just be kind of mingling. We're exploring pretty well. I did notice. You do notice. The Egyptians, Icarus, is now putting units in the water. So the New World is going to be heavily contested very quickly. This is a very fast New World contest. Sometimes the New World doesn't get discovered till much later in games. We're contesting New World very rapidly. It's a very rapid contesting of the New World. I want to see what's over here. We've got islands kind of separating us from... eventually we're going to get people coming from this direction as well. But I think we have some safety in this edge. But once people are here, you can move very quickly. I do think we want to spend our influence on this territory claim so we can get Nemosis up and running a little faster. That 1814 is a very tempting spot. It's so tempting to go there. It's surrounded by river. It's going to be a monstrous tile if we put this on. This gets us the escape, but it's just not as good. 18 food to kick things off is huge. I mean, that's just absolutely monstrous. I think we kind of have to do that. This is another spot. This spot right here is pretty crazy. That 1814 is really... Because then we can always just put a farmer's quarter here and then just start building out. That's actually... Yeah, that's actually nice. Let's just do that. Oh, there's a little... Well, that's pretty. We'll collect that in a second. It's nice to be on the New World. Nice to be on the New World. Okay, I think we're close to declaring war here. Let's go ahead and produce a few more units. They're cranking units out at a pretty decent pace. I mean, I feel like we just keep our main units trucking, right? We can have 4 in an army. We have 1 warrior coming up. And 1 here. So we build 2 more and we get 2. That's 2 full armies that we'll be able to push Akkad with, which I think is pretty good. We could also get another city. I mean, we could assimilate Sus right now. That's going to put us 2 over cap, though, and that's going to cost us too much in influence. We're not going to do that yet. Man, we need more influence. Ah! All right, these guys could just hang, maybe like right here. We won't enter their territory yet. And not that we have to declare war on a free peoples to enter their territory, but... Okay, Corral is ready to go. We also want to... Oh, we could use our influence. Ugh. We could use our agrarian ability too. There's so many things to use influence for. Oh man. All right, so we can get plus food here. We don't need food right now. We do need districts, technically speaking. Let's see what else we've got. 19 science is pretty decent. Just checking what the yields are. 20 industry is a big deal. We may need more industry. I like the idea of putting the watermill in. Let's put in the watermill. I know it's going to cost us... We're going to be over pop cap, but that's fine. We'll get access to hamlets at some point and right that wrong. We can free research fortifications right now, so... Boom, there we go. Free research. We had about enough left over to just plug that in. And then we're just kind of plugging in cheap stuff at this point. I mean, I guess we should get up to foreign outposts is probably like a smart thing to do. So maybe we'll just click to there. That's the -10 when buying a resource. I mean, that would have been nice because we just did a bunch of purchasing, but it's fine. We also currently have the ability to move up if we wanted to. I'm going to hit remind me later. That got us a science star, which is what unlocked that. So we are prepared to move up if we wanted to. However, we want to get this last agrarian star for sure. I like to get the last science star. We're a few techs away from that. And we only have one attachment to get this as well. And we actually don't have the builder stars done either. So there's quite a few stars we can collect. Now, we're close to moving up, but we're not quite there. Next episode, we'll definitely be moving up, though, I think. Can we squeeze in one more turn? I'm going to call it here. I want to. I would love to play another turn, but we've been pushing these episodes pretty long. I'm going to call it right here for this episode. We will progress to the next era. Probably next episode. Not even probably, almost definitely, because we are several turns away from actually maxing out our tech tree. Like, we only have the ability to stay in this era for another, like, you know, as the science continues to increase, it might be like 10 to 15 turns tops that we're able to stay in here. We're going to have that science star pretty quickly, and we'd like to get up into feudalism and theology because those are kind of important techs. Also, seafaring mastery is big. There's a lot of good ones. Chivalry is huge because of the hamlet. So I think we're going to want to move up sooner rather than later. Once we get some attachments done, we get some more nematons placed in our new cities. So that's probably something to focus on. Something to think about. When are your emblematic districts going in? We haven't been focusing them because we didn't think we were moving up. We got a ton of stars very quickly right there at the end. And so now we've progressed super fast. We've also got our new world settled down. We're going to put this in. We're going to get an attachment in very quickly. We're going to try to expand this city as much as we can. Get this last claim in. We've got so much to spend influence on. It's just been a challenge to figure out what we want to do with it at this point, right? So I think that we'll call it there. I know we're sitting on some influence here, but we are putting this in next turn. I want to make sure that we have enough to do that, and then we'll probably use our agrarian ability here in Huatu next time as well to try to get that 8 population. So that's something we want to remember. But I think we progressed nicely. 2 extra cities this time, a foothold in the New World, and there it is, the attachment as well coming through. So now Plosif and the green folk are attached in to the New World, and we now share a border. So we're going to want to keep an eye on that. Let's check a couple other things. I want to check our sphere of influence. Sphere of influence is actually, we're pushing back in. This is beautiful. So remember, the Icarus and the purple had pushed their sphere of influence into our land because of those aggressive settles that we've made. So we're actually pushing back there. We want to keep an eye on that, especially along this border, to make sure that our sphere of influence from a society perspective is doing well. And let's check on our religion. I'm a little nervous about this one. Yep, so for whatever reason, our religion is not progressing as we have planned. So Buddhism from Icarus is actually progressing massively into our land. And so we may struggle with religion here. We're not gaining followers at a rate that is like huge, and that's because some of our people are actually not even following our religion. They're following Buddhism, and so our religion is not growing very quickly. This is the problem. If you don't grow your religion fast, you end up in a situation where your religion could get overtaken by somebody else because the sheer size of their religion ends up bigger than yours, and it's hard to push back on that. So we'll have to keep an eye on religion as we get going here. We're pushing towards another tenet, but there probably already are some religions that have a second tenet. So, all right. Thank you for tuning in for episode 10 of our Let's Play YouTube series. Again, link to the first episode is below in the description if you want to check that out. It is an absolute pleasure to make these videos every week. I'm having a lot of fun playing Humankind. The game just continues to get better. They've got new content coming out, lots of big announcements from Amplitude about the new diplomatic type, the new diplomatic culture types. We have a whole new type of culture coming out, the diplomatic type. They've got new cultures for each different era. It's very exciting. There's a lot of big updates here in the future for this game, so I'm excited to continue playing it. We will continue working through this game. I've got an exciting follow-up series to this one planned, and so I'll announce that at some point, so stay tuned. But thank you for watching the video. Next week, I will release another one. I appreciate it. Feel free to hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next week.